too bad when unfair and distorted judgments interfere with the clear perception of others and ourselves even. It's unfair when we delude ourselves into believing something, when we lie to ourselves and we delude ourselves, and then we judge others according to those delusions. When we mobilize our emotions along the psychological coordinates that we set up to avoid certain conflicts, or when we project our shortcomings onto those who confront us with those shortcomings. To try to make this understandable, let me offer this example, which is not a good example, but that's what I could come up with. So, when a teacher writes to a student a note in which he expresses his affirmation of the student's project, research project, but it's clear from the tone and from the sketchy way he summarizes the student's project that he is not really, that he doesn't want to delve into and really help the student with his project. To which the student then replies openly and directly that no problem, I understand, it's opaque indeed, or something like that. And then the teacher gets upset to some degree because he feels that he is accused of something. Now there is a denial involved in the circuit of communication between the teacher and the student, and that's a knot in the circuit that makes the connection between them misshapen. I think another such emotional misplacement occurs when the intensity of our emotional engagement gets disproportionate because of arbitrary situations. And what I mean by that is maybe more clear from this example. When you want to pay for the products you bought at the supermarket and you are at the counter and you can't find the money at once, and you feel that the people behind you and the shop assistant become impatient, and you start to feel embarrassed, as if you were perceiving the negative energy that's directed at you for keeping the line and wasting the time of them, wasting other people's time, and you feel agitated emotionally. Obviously, from a more cosmic perspective, this is nonsense, because it's clear that this kind of incident does not worth the emotional engagement or imbalance that you undergo because of it. It doesn't worth it at all. Why would it be a problem to halt the seamless process of consumption, consumerism? Anyway, in situations like this, it's as if we accepted certain circumstances or conditions as some kind of absolutes against which we can then measure our behavior, our reactions, against which we can esteem ourselves, at that moment they acquire an absolute status, and we become frustrated because not fulfilling or not coming or not satisfying the conditions that we perceive in that situation. So this is what I wanted to basically say, that sometimes we invest emotions in the wrong places at the wrong time, and it costs so much because we distort our relation to the environment. And I'm reminded of a notion from social psychology which is called the fundamental attribution error. When we judge the behavior of others in terms of dispositional, or in dispositional terms and not in situational terms. So there is a bias in observers and people toward attributing causes and consequences that happen in a situation to traits and abilities of people, and not to the general situation as a whole. And there was a experiment in which they set up a quiz test, and they separated the participants into questioners and contestants, and the questioners were instructed to create very difficult and esoteric and nonsense questions so that the contestants couldn't answer them. And after the quiz show, observers were asked to